1 minute to post time, approaching the gate. They are at the post. Now they're moving into the gate. Off and running.
Hello, Billy Ho here, coming at you with another Kentucky Derby 149 2023 Kentucky Derby video. And today we're going to cover the points leaders 6 through 10. So that is going to be Lord Miles, Derma Sotogake, Kingsbarns, Raise Cain, and Rocket Can. So thanks for tuning in to the show yesterday, everybody. Really appreciate the comments, and it really took off pretty good. I was really hopeful, and we're going to try to do much of the same today. Look at some final prep videos and do some different things and talk about these 5 horses and try to just get a profile on what we're looking at, because what it's coming together to me is more of a slower paced Kentucky Derby. And there's more closers than I can remember. Like, there's not very many front running, and we will get to one of those here in just a few minutes. So anyway, I am born and raised in Louisville. I've been to many Kentucky Derbies, Kentucky Oaks. I've been to Churchill Downs lots of times, been on the surface itself. My great aunt and uncle used to own and train horses. Rapid Stables, we used to have a box at Churchill, and we'd go sit there, and amongst the people, we used to have a box right around some trainers and some owners and whatnot. So, I pick up on stuff as a kid growing up, and my dad taught me how to bet and all the good stuff about wagering. So I feel like I've got a pretty good knowledge. He used to pull me out of school in like 7th and 8th grade, half hour early, saying I had a dentist appointment. And so he'd take me to the track so we could make the first race. So that just kind of tells you, a little bit about old Billy Ho there. So he likes to gamble. So what we're going to do is get into these 5 horses and see what we got. Let's go. Yeah. All right. The first horse we're going to talk about is Lord Miles, and he was the 59-1 bomb that crashed the Wood Memorial in the home stretch. So he's out of Curlin. Saffie Joseph Jr. Is the trainer, and Paco Lopez, I think, likely the rider. All these riders aren't set in stone, but I imagine Paco Lopez will ride Lord Miles. So anyway, we're going to get into this race, and he's your horse on the outside here, the 8 horse. So turning around, coming from home. It was really just applauding. I got this sped up because it takes so long to come together. These 3 horses get into the mix here and get real tight, but you can see Lord Miles just pressing and pressing, and it looks like they're just taking forever to get there. And then he finally gets his head up at the end. And so the Wood Memorial, it was a 93 buyer. I really didn't, to be honest with you, I didn't find the whole competition of that race. It's kind of lost its luster to me for some reason. It used to be these New York preps were all the rage, but the one at Aqueduct just didn't seem to do it for me this year. And it's very unlikely to find another winning late run like he used at Aqueduct. And it really just, that closing stretch just didn't really do much for me. So Lord Miles is going to be a toss for me. And it won't matter to me where he gets drawn. There's just too many other better closers here. I just don't know that he would be able to pick up the pieces. So that's all for Lord Miles. And we get into the next one, UAE Derby winner, the Japanese Derma Sotogake. And he is one of our few front runners. So we're going to take a look at him. And he's already out front around the first turn here, the 5 horse. And so he's out of Mind Your Biscuits, who is actually passed up Funny Side as the highest earning sire or New York bred something or other, highest earner. So that's pretty big company there. So uh, I Hideka is the trainer, and Christophe Lemare, I guess, is the jockey. So that kind of combo turns me off a little bit. But this horse looks really solid. He qualified with this front running victory, and we're going to take a look at it now. And he just gets out in front and just kind of sets a pretty fast pace and going around the turn here. And he really just never relinquishes. I mean, he's pressed a little bit by the 6 horse here, but he's just cruising along, hand ridden, and really just everybody filing in line behind him. So what this leads me to believe with not that many front runners is if this horse can get out on front and sit down on the lead, then it's possible that he could wire this field. I think he's got the chops and he's got the stamina and the distance, and you can see him just cooking his way around this track and heading for home. And he's handridden. He's not really being urged at all. And now he's being just given a little bit of the whip just to get him back engaged a little bit. And he does nothing but just straight pull away here and goes off to a big victory, monster purse at the UAE Derby. So it was pretty impressive performance. So anyway, the UAE Derby has been won by clear cut efforts on the lead before, but then the winners don't seem to translate that over into the first Saturday in May. And I don't know if it's the travel or whatever, but this horse obviously came from Japan, then went across country to Dubai, and then from Dubai, I believe, got somewhere in the United States, Chicago or whatever, and made his way over to Churchill. But the thing that I did like is he shipped with a partner. Continuar is the actual Japanese invite, and he is the one that, and he's going to be listed 20th. So that's Continuar, and it's nice to have a mate when they, like a friend, so to speak, for another horse to travel with, because it helps with the anxiety, I think, and things like that. And they did get here early enough to get him acclimated to the track and to recover and to put weight back on and all that stuff from the long trip. So he's already been working out at Churchill. He looks good. So this is a kind of a win. If the pace sets up right, a definite win contender. So this is the first time I've actually, normally these Japanese horses and overseas horses and whatnot, they're instant tosses for me, but the Japanese have really stepped their game up in recent years, winning a lot of Breeders' Cups type races and just changing their, learning how to get horses prepared for these American races. So they've done a real good job of that. So shout out to our Japanese friends of the Rising Sun. And now Kingsbarns is next. He is not going to be one, if you're a Kingsbarns fan, that I am a fan of. And we'll also pick this up at right around the half mile. As you can see up here, 49.6 slow pace in this Louisiana Derby. So if you get a slow pace like this and somebody gets out on the lead, they can just do exactly what Kingsbarns is getting ready to do. And he's the third Pletcher trainee, 3-for-3 career record. So he's no slouch, but and a Hunter Buyer on this front end effort. That this fraction, I didn't like the race at all myself. But we'll watch it here real quick, and you can see how he's out front. Kingsbarns is rocking and rolling here. And so Jace's Road is in this race, who's also just now made the Derby. So we'll probably be profiling Jace's Road later on in the week, but you can get an early look as they turn for home here. Kingsbarns just has way too much energy off the slow pace to be caught. So he just turns on the jets and says, "See you later, alligator." And that's pretty much how it goes when you run a 49 half mile. That slow of a pace, you're just not going to catch the front runner. And I don't know if that's going to happen at the Derby. It's a possibility. But it seems to me Derma Sotogake and Kingsbarns would be two that might try to do that and get out front and just sit down on it. All right. The next horse up is going to be Race Cain. He's also out of Violence, the sire, fifth in the Bluegrass. Got a 90 buyer speed rating for that. Ben Colebrook is the trainer, and Javier Castellano is the jockey. Race Cain is a deep closer in his last two. He won the Gotham at odds of 23-1, so it's really hard to repeat that kind of performance. Long shot winners rarely do. So this fifth place is coming from way back. The 10 horse, we could pick it up almost dead last here in the back of the pack. So here we go. And basically just kind of plodding along here. Did not take the advantage that Tappet Trice did by moving forward. And so Race Cain is just kind of one of those other horses, kind of a toss for me. He just plodding along and really starts to make somewhat of a move 7 wide coming up here around this final turn, and does look like he's making some progress. Hitting the stretch for home, but just way too wide. And once you make that wide of a sweep, it's really hard when you flatten out and then you get in behind horses and to make up that kind of ground. So fifth place finish, not a horrible effort, but just not quite the effort I'm looking for personally. So Race Cain is going to be a toss for me. And then we're going to get into the very last horse, who's probably also a toss. Spoiler alert: Rocket Cain, fourth in the Arkansas Derby. It's the 7 horse here. We'll pick it up right here where he's just kind of mid pack here, running about fifth. And so he's Bill Mott trained. Junior Alvarado rides. Made his 23 debut on the Derby Trail and won the Holy Bull in February. And then subsequent starts produced a second at the Fountain of Youth behind Forte, and then a fourth at the Arkansas Derby, as we're going to watch right now. And this is a 7 horse coming around. I don't think I'm going to dismiss Rocket Cain just yet. I think it was just a regression in this race. So, but stays fairly mid pack, and I really haven't concentrated on the 7 horse. It looks like it is making a move here, coming around the final turn. I believe he's going to go 4 wide and then just kind of stall out. And here he comes around the turn, sweeping move, and just right here, just kind of flattens out, and then finds a little bit of gas in the tank at the very end to pass a couple of horses, the 8 horse, maybe not quite. So, decent effort. Not going to completely toss just yet. Like I said, that's going to do it for this round of videos. But I just want to kind of preview these horses, the 20, and that's why I'm going in order of points, so people don't get it confused like I'm ranking them or something. I just want to say these are the 5 horses. This is what I saw. This is what I think so far. Once Monday comes out and we get the draw, that's when we're going to know post positions, and then you can start digging into past performances. So the next video will drop tomorrow, and that's going to be 11 through 15. So appreciate you watching, and then we'll see you soon. Thanks again.